Vince McMahon doesn't want to push Ricochet. Vince McMahon doesn't see Ricochet as a main eventer. Yet Vince McMahon sees Ricochet as a real-life superhero. So I'm John from Midcard Maniacs, and today I'm gonna book Ricochet as a real-life superhero. Ricochet's run in WWE isn't what a lot of people would have hoped for or expected, given how talented this wrestler was when he was working on the indies, when he was in Lucha Underground as Prince Puma. This guy had amazing skill. Even to the point that I remember going to an NXT live show in St. Catharines and seeing him and Buddy Murphy put on, by far, one of my favorite matches of all time. And yet, even with all the skill in the world, WWE does not know what to do with him, and Vince McMahon just has this idea that if anyone is small and can fly, they should have a cape and be a superhero. And some people may say, hey, but Ricochet just had a match against Brock Lesnar for the WWE title, in which it felt more like a burial than a push to get him to the next level. And then he has another title match against Riddick Moss for the 24/7 title, and that definitely felt like a burial. So it's clear that someone, probably Vince McMahon, does not believe in Ricochet anymore. So to help Vince believe, I'm gonna go back to his roots and book him as if he were a real-life superhero. Now, given that Ricochet is on a bit of a losing streak, it would seem as though he's in a really dark place and needs to find a way to get back on track and give him some kind of meaning or purpose to get back to the main event. And I think all Ricochet needs is a little guidance. And who better to give Ricochet guidance than none other than the Hurricane, WWE's greatest superhero. So if you're gonna make Ricochet a real-life superhero, you might as well have someone like the Hurricane who pulled off this gimmick amazingly as a superhero in WWE for so long to help train Ricochet to become the next superhero that WWE has needed. Now, I know what you're thinking, and no, I do not want him to get the Rosie treatment. He does not need to be a superhero in training, or as they put it, SHIT. That does not need to happen. That would just ruin this character right away. Instead, I want the Hurricane to go backstage and find Ricochet, just like beaten down, just like really in a bad place, and offer to help him out. And in doing so, he's gonna train him, become his manager, and just show him how good it is to be a superhero. Because then that will lead to some really hilarious segments, and it will help Ricochet just kind of establish a personality. Because right now, any of his backstage stuff seems too robotic and too scripted. But someone like Shane Helms or the Hurricane, who would be his manager and do the promos for him, could really help elevate him, because the Hurricane is fantastic on the mic. He has a great personality. He has that nostalgic value that wrestling fans of the Attitude and the Ruthless Aggression era are gonna appreciate and want to see back. Because just like others before him who have returned to the ring, they had that huge pop. And now it's time for Ricochet, who is great in the ring and a lot of fans wanna get behind, and having someone like the Hurricane who's gonna bring that nostalgia value. The two of them together will just make the crowd react in a positive manner. While the two of them are working together, Ricochet isn't gonna be fully on board because he doesn't wanna come off as a joke or a comedy act, but the Hurricane is going to reassure him that what he's doing is right and just. But of course, it's hard to take this serious, so you need to embrace the comedy element that's going to be Ricochet being a superhero. And I think there's going to be some hilarious skits where it comes to costume design, or the Hurricane going backstage being Gregory Helms, news reporter.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Gregory Helms, ace reporter.
Showing him that he needs to have a secret identity and has his costume for the ring. Just a lot of funny segments, a lot of things that the audience are going to want to see to make it entertaining. Because once you have a character who the audience is entertained by come into the ring and show how talented they are, then they're really going to get behind him, and he could get a proper push. Plus, it'd be fun to see the Hurricane pick different wrestlers who are heels on Raw that Ricochet needs to go and fight against because he doesn't agree with their style of wrestling or how they're treating someone. It would just be entertaining seeing him do good through wrestling matches and have the Hurricane be his voice of justice. Can you just imagine the Hurricane and Ricochet standing up to Seth Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah? Not only are you going to get one of the greatest matches of all time, Buddy Murphy versus Ricochet, but you're also going to get Ricochet versus Seth Rollins, and potentially Hurricane coming out of retirement and them teaming against the Authors of Pain. There's just so much potential here for great matches, great storytelling, and something that's going to bring this character back to where he could have been, even though we're making him a real-life superhero. I, for one, would totally get behind this idea because honestly, even if Ricochet was in a superhero costume and going in the ring and wrestling quality matches, it's way better than seeing him lose and get squashed to the likes of Riddick Moss or anyone else who's running for the 24/7 title. So this is that one time where Vince McMahon had an idea of making someone a superhero, and I think they should actually follow through with it. Give Ricochet a chance, bring the Hurricane back, team these two up, and put on some great matches and hilarious backstage segments. Now, what did you think? Let me know in the comments. Like this video, and if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with everything we're doing here on Midcard Maniacs.